Guys, I've said over the last couple of weeks that we need to just basically levy a gigantic tariff on China. If you want to stop this nonsense, just hit them with like 1,000% as a meme, basically. Okay. Then what happens with that 1,000% tariff is that she then walks to us and says, okay, listen, all right, we have been doing all these terrible things because keep this in mind, guys, he's only in power exclusively because people of China, the poorest people in China, have jobs. All right, making what 80 to 90% of the products they make there for the United States of America. Okay, so the only way that we can fix this is if she says, you know what, hey, listen, we're going to stop giving you guys bad deals. We're going to stop manipulating our currency. Okay, and also we're going to go ahead and stop with IP theft. Okay, that's it. If you say all of these things and all these things, then we can work out a better deal. But until then, I'm not sure what we can actually do in terms of China, guys. Okay, I don't know because all we're going to keep doing is doubling it. Like I'm sure you guys seen these videos like, hey, would you like $1? Would you double it and pass it on? That's basically where we're at right now with China. It's going to consistently happen until someone comes to the table and bro, it's not us. Not this time. Okay. Over the last 50 years, we've lost manufacturing jobs in the United States of America to China consistently, back to back to back to back. Because again, it's cheaper to build things in China. It just is, right? The labor is cheaper. So until we can get a better deal, the currency is going to stop being manipulated, and the intellectual property is going to stop being stolen at the rate that it's basically stolen. Like, yeah, go to China right now. I've been to China a couple of times. I love China. I love the way it looks. It looks super futuristic in some places, than the exact opposite in others. Just keep that in mind here, right? It's not China is not all of these big cities. Those are just the big cities, right? But the point is here, look at all of the innovation that has happened in China over the last 50 to 60 years. 70 years, okay? A lot of that comes from, again, intellectual property theft. We have decided to build things in this country. They have taken and reverse engineered a good amount of it, and they are coming out on top. They're going to come out on top if we do not fix this, okay? All due to what? Intellectual property theft. So until we can work on that, I don't see what we can do here. But the name of the video is U.S. Tariff War is Killing China. Industries in ruin. Beijing resists, unafraid of starving people. That's the name of the video. That's a suggestion via Discord. Let's go and jump into this immediately. So I gave you my overall opinion on the matter here, but let's jump into it.
The tariff war with the United States is killing us. Our factory has never been this bleak before. It's hard to get orders, and even the workshop and server rooms have stopped production. Other factories that mainly export to the U.S. are in an even worse situation. For our factory, to keep the employees, the boss is desperately selling off inventory, hoping that more customers from Yiwu International Trade City can help us with orders. So the pressure from the inventory will definitely fall on us salespeople. Trump's drastic move will only force Chinese businesses to explore other markets like Europe, South America, and the Middle East.
That's fine.
Production has stopped. Earlier, some followers were asking about whether the U.S. tariff reduction affects us. As you know, we mainly do business with the U.S., and that's 90% of our income.
90.
As of yesterday, the U.S. tariff has increased to 104%, and the direct impact on us is that all export business to the U.S. has stopped. Even original equipment manufacturing clients told us to stop production. All the goods at the port need to be returned, and the losses are incalculable.
With
the U.S. increasing tariffs on Chinese goods by 104%, the garment trade might collapse directly. Factory orders are plummeting. Machines are idle. Workers are unemployed. Accepting orders means losing money. Not accepting them means waiting to go bankrupt. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Foreign trade is shifting to domestic sales, but the already intense competition in domestic garment market will only get worse, and prices will be cut to the extreme. The profit margin on a piece of clothing may be thinner than paper. Textile factories, fabric factories, garment factories, wholesale garment stalls, clothing stores, every part of the industry is being dragged into a price war. What about the consumers? In the short term, clothes will be cheaper, but the fabric might be worse, and the fit might not be right. After a few wears, they'll lose shape, and you'll feel like you wasted your money and lost trust. In the long term, if there's no profit in the clothing industry, other industries will be the same.
Of course.
Factories and companies with no profit will have to shut down. more people will lose their jobs, and
Right.
fewer people will have income. Money will be harder to earn, and fewer people will be able to spend. Nobody will buy clothes, cars, or other things. What can we do?
Like I hear this guy, like I hear it. Trust me, bro. I feel it. I absolutely feel what you're trying to say here. But the problem is that where's all of this for the jobs lost in the United States of America? We definitely need to stop relying on importing every single thing from this country from another country. And based off of he just admitted here, 90%, 90% dictates that you live exclusively to funnel products to the United States of America. Like that's what that sounds like to me. It sounds like you guys also have an issue. But again, she is in power exclusively due to his ability to foster our consumerist, let's say, demands and needs. That's it. And that's what it looks like outside looking in here, guys. I'm not a politician. I'm just I'm a random guy on YouTube, that likes watching and learning about these things.
现在车间堆满了国外的货。
The workshop is now full of foreign goods, and we still don't know if they'll be shipped out or if the other side will even accept them.
现在情况就这样咯，工厂停工停产。
This is the situation right now. The factory has stopped production, and over 100 people are laid off on the spot.
美国订单今天全部停。
All U.S. orders have been stopped today. We don't understand how these tariff increases and reductions will affect us, but it's clear that many people can't continue their business. The streets are emptier, and many people have lost their jobs. The first to be affected are the workers. With no foreign trade orders, the factory can't run, and the first ones to be laid off are the workers. You might earn 2,000 yuan this month, then 1,000 yuan the next, and the month after that, you'll pack up and go home because there's no work. It's just that simple and that real.
兄弟们都躺平吧，看看。
Guys, let's just lie down and watch. These street vendors are all business owners. The trade war is real, and it's already impacting the economy. What effect does the tariff have on ordinary people?
首先我是做财务的，前两天我就问了。
First, I work in finance. A couple of days ago, I asked our export clients how the tariffs were affecting them. They told me that 90% of their business has been suspended.
The U.S. Tariff Club swings over many countries, and last-minute changes have occurred. On the afternoon of April 9th, Trump announced that the high tariffs would be temporarily delayed. For the next 90 days, only the 10% benchmark tariff would be imposed, but the 104% tariff on China wasn't removed. It was instead increased to 125%.
It's gonna go
China
higher.
retaliated with an 84% tariff. The U.S. China tariff war has caused widespread distress across China. Guangdong, as the core province of China's foreign trade, relies heavily on exports, especially to the U.S. market. According to 2024 data, Guangdong accounts for 20.8% of the total national import and export volume, showing its leading role in foreign trade.
中美关税互相反制。
The U.S.
Guys, hold on. So when China decides that they're going to go ahead and do a 84% tariff on us, I mean that doesn't really affect us, guys, because they don't buy anything from us anyway. We buy everything from them. Keep that in mind here. When they say like 84% tariffs, the only thing they really buy are like movies, guys. Like, I mean, they've already said that they're gonna start banning movies. So if they ban American movies because of all these tariffs, right? If they ban American movies, then their 84% tariff is gonna go to what exactly? The small amount of expats who live in China who still purchase American soda and chips and candy, guys. That's basically what they're talking about. They don't buy much from us at all. Not really, not anything meaningful, not what we buy from them, right? But either way.
Showing its leading role in foreign trade.
中美关税互相反制。
The U.S.-China tariff battle is a huge blow to Guangdong. There's no doubt that Guangdong is the most affected, and it's possible that Jiangsu's GDP will surpass Guangdong's in the coming years. Guangdong is a province most reliant on foreign trade, and the U.S. accounts for the largest portion. Guangdong's rapid rise is largely driven by trade with the U.S. and the West. Guangdong's geographical location makes it naturally suited for foreign trade. The Wuling Mountains to the north block the inland, while the plains to the south open up to the world. It's as if Guangdong is saying, I don't want to trade with the inland, I want to trade with the world. Guangdong is China's foreign
it.
trade hub, where countries from all over the world converge. Once the tariff war escalates and foreign trade declines, Guangdong's GDP will inevitably plummet. Many northern provinces rely on transfer payments from Guangdong to pay government salaries and pensions. Without Guangdong's support, many places won't even be able to pay civil servants. The data is available for verification. Guangdong's vast wealth is earned from trade with Europe and the U.S., with the U.S. being the major contributor. This will have a chain reaction. Northern civil servants need to prepare for this. After Guangdong falls, will you still get your salaries?
Entrepreneur Zhao Rensong posted a video on April 9th.
贸易战是真正的开始了。
The trade war has truly begun. The impact of these tariffs is hitting manufacturing bosses like a punch in the chest. We've witnessed the history of these tariffs. It started with a 34% increase, then 54%, and now it's directly at 125%. What does this mean for us? First, the volatility of raw materials is huge. Second, foreign trade orders have been chopped off, especially for businesses focused on the U.S. market. These bosses have no idea where to go from here. Third, the stock market is crashing. Every sector is falling, and stock investors are really struggling. But the real danger is a tightening cash flow. Small and medium-sized enterprises may not last 3 months. They may face bankruptcy.
Guangdong has been the top province for imports and exports for 39 consecutive years, crushing other provinces by a huge margin. It accounts for 1/5 of the total foreign trade in China. The escalation of the U.S. China tariff war will directly impact Guangdong's pillar industries, such as electronics, machinery, and textiles. The shrinking exports could trigger a domino effect. Thousands of companies are facing reduced orders and increased costs, making it hard to maintain operations, with many even facing the risk of bankruptcy. This will lead to higher unemployment, which will worsen social tensions.
Absolutely. And guys, those social tensions are going to be the ones that are going to push Xi specifically to come to the table immediately. I'm telling you, like, he only exists where he is exclusively because of the people.
Public dissatisfaction could quickly build up.
People's public.
China's tough response to American tariffs has drawn global attention and sparked discussions. The Chinese government claims it will stand firm, but the outside world wonders how China can afford to take such a hard stance.
They can't.
Why does China insist on being so tough? In reality, China has limited options to respond to the tariff war. China's exports to the United States are 3 times larger than U.S. exports to China. Using tariffs and export controls in retaliation won't have a significant effect.
None.
Currency devaluation can mitigate the impact of tariffs, but could lead to capital flight. The government.
And that's the problem. And this is what China basically does every single time something happens for some reason. They want to go ahead and change the value of their currency, guys. All right, the yuan is not high anyway, right? So 1,000 equates to about $140. 2,000 is $280. The person that was speaking earlier in regards to how much they were making, they were basically talking about, hey, listen, this month we're making about $280, and then next month it's going to be $140, and the next month it's going to be less. Listen, bro, I hear you. I hear you. But China is in fact an adversary to the United States of America. It is. Even though they are the ones who produce all of the things that they produce, they've gotten pretty much kind of on their high horse in this context here. We're going to end this video. If you guys want to actually watch the rest of it, it's in the comments, guys. This video is pretty long. But China is definitely an adversary to the United States of America, guys. It is what it is. They do make the majority of our stuff, okay? But they're, in fact, an adversary. They devalue their currency. They mess with us in courts around the world for intellectual property. We have put ourselves into this exact situation, and we are trying to pull ourselves out of this exact situation. I think Trump is the perfect one to do this because he just doesn't care. You know what I'm saying here? But again, I do think that this can all be literally mitigated if she was to actually come to the table and say, okay, listen, hold on. We're going to go ahead and stop with the concept of stealing your intellectual property because that is crazy. Go ahead and start a business in China. Go. Right? Go right now, start a business in China. With your specific intellectual property, you will realize that a brand new factory opens up down the street, specifically if you start making money. All right? A brand new factory is going to open up down the street and it's basically going to copy you and you can't do nothing about it. And so now once they already have your plans and how you run things and all these other things, your company is going to go basically to the ground, and theirs is going to succeed in the name of the People's Republic. Bro, like I'm telling you, there's a problem there, all right? And we have a problem. We do. But they're the ones who build things for cheap, right? So, for example, in terms of the iPhone, an actual iPhone costs basically no more than $10 to $15 to basically make. But yet, the United States of America, you buy your iPhone for about $1,000, sometimes $1,500, that type of thing. So now I do know that Apple, I think, is trying to start building in the United States of America. I have no idea how much the iPhone is going to cost. I think speculated cost is going to be like $2,300 for an iPhone. Bro, don't buy that iPhone. It's going to be American made, absolutely, but listen. Hold your phone. All right, you don't need it. You don't need the new iPhone. You don't need it at $2,300. You don't need that iPhone, bro. I'm sorry. And the crazy thing is that Apple definitely can eat the cost, but now you have all these, the greedy profiteers, let's say, stepping in and being like, no. We have to make the same amount of money, or we have a problem. But in reality, if you want to, if you want to start building things in the United States of America, the people building have to kind of eat some of the cost. All right, you have to. I understand your stock price is about to halve. Oh yeah, if you keep prices the same to keep your customers happy, your stock price is going to halve. The reality of the situation. Right? If the American people are going to be going through some type of inflationary event that we're already going through, it seems to be coming down though, oddly, right? But in a good way. But if the American people are already suffering through an inflationary event, why would you then double the cost for everything because now you have to pay Americans a living wage in your factories, right? I get it. I get the profit aspect of it, but if you want to maintain your client base, I think you should eat that cost. Personally, keep things how they are. Go up the regular yearly inflationary bump, if that makes any sense, but do not double your prices, bro, for the sole purpose of profit. Because now so we're already in a state where America has turned into the haves and have-nots. We're already in that position, right? And if you do this, people are going to get absolutely richer, of course, right? And then the poor are going to get poorer because now you're sticking them in debt traps and things that, that they don't need in the first place, but they're going to want anyway, right? So the only way to mitigate these problems is just eat the cost, bro. All right? I know your stock price is going to have. It is. But at the same time, will that be affecting Americans' IRAs or 401ks? Definitely. It's definitely going to do that, right? So we're kind of in like this weird thing, right? We've gotten really comfortable with other countries building what we desire, and so the prices can be low, and the profiteers will make the most amount of profit. But that has to end, bro. Okay, and again, quadruple whatever tariff you have on China right now. Quadruple it. He'll come to the table tomorrow, bro. We will get a whole brand new news alert saying she has landed in Washington, D.C. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.